Mortgage rates didn't move much in the last quarter of 2025. And while home prices did ease a bit, there was a major shift in how real estate agents now see the market. Diana Olick joins us right now with CNBC's quarterly housing market survey. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, Becky. And this is our second edition of the survey, so we can now make comparisons. We're doing this against a mortgage rate backdrop where the average rate on the 30-year fix dropped sharply in Q3, but then stayed in a narrow margin in Q4, just between 6.2 and 6.4%. Still, of the real estate agents we surveyed in Q4, more said it was a balanced market rather than the buyer's market they were seeing in Q3. That is likely because consumers became less confident in the economy as job losses grew. We heard that from Heather Dell in Detroit.
The people that have been moving and the momentum that we had were definitely slowed down. Far less by interest rates than the intrinsic factors, the cost of living, and the complete uncertainty in so many markets. Homeowners insurance, car insurance, and utilities, and medical insurance.
This is likely why more agents reported price cuts. 92% of agents in Q4 had at least one seller cut the price versus 89% in the previous quarter. And in fact, nearly half of the agents said the majority of their sellers cut prices. Of course, cutting prices is not high on a seller's wish list, so we did see more agents with delistings. 51% reported having to pull at least one home off the market, compared with 40% in Q3. But we are now in a new year, and despite what we saw in Q4, far more agents expect sales to improve in the coming quarter. Nearly 65% are looking for better times. There is more inventory on the market now, and some agents told us they think consumers are starting to get used to current economic conditions. Not thrilled about them, of course, but less uncertainty. Now, there's much more from the survey up now on CNBC.com. Back to you.
Diana, how much of this can be written into seasonal factors? You know, a lot of times over the holidays, things tend to shut down, but then we expect things to pick up again in the spring. What are you hearing on that front?
Well, look, we talked to agents who have been doing this for many, many years, and so they know the seasonality. They know that December is, of course, the slowest time of the year, but this is what they're looking quarter to quarter, seeing changes in the mindset. And that's why we wanted to do this survey, was to get really down into kind of a sidewalk survey, I call it, where they're talking to their buyers, their sellers on a daily basis from the summer to the winter. So seasonality wouldn't really play much of a part in it.
But their call is clearly that it's not a seller's market anymore. It's a more balanced market.
It is. It was a buyer's market because we were getting more inventory onto the market and prices were starting to ease. But it's starting to balance off a little more because there is that uncertainty in the market. Perhaps a new normal as we get into the new year. We have to see what the spring market brings in terms of inventory.